Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So guess what, I have somebody for you guys, and I think this is one of the most interesting videos you ever watch on my channel. We are talking about PhD studying here in Europe and Germany. I have a very interesting student of PhD because he's studying in 2 different countries. Hi Lucky, nice to meet you and nice to have you on my channel.
Thank you, Esther. I'm happy to be here.
Yes. So we have a lot to go and break down on this channel. But first of all, please introduce yourself. Who is Lucky?
My name is Lucky. I'm a co-tutor PhD candidate in the University of Lyon and the University of Freiburg. I study social linguistics.
Oh. Cool, nice to meet you again. So let's go straight into the meat of this conversation. First of all, I'd like to know about before this whole PhD thing. Take us a little bit backward. What was your career background, your educational background before this? So how many degrees do you have? Did you do a master's? Where did you do it? Did you get to work? Just something short.
It's okay. You want to, I think in most cases, one has to have a master's degree or something equivalent. Just to go back a little bit, I did my BA. I obtained my BA in Nigeria, in one of the best state-owned universities in Nigeria.
Which one?
That is Ebonyi State University.
Okay, so everybody thinks that.
So that's where I obtained my BA. So after that, I moved to France. I did my master's program there, and before coming for PhD program.
It's fine. So what did you do as your master's?
Okay, at my master's at BA, I did English and literary studies.
Okay.
So basically the 2 arms. Then for my master's program, I focused on English linguistics.
English linguistics?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, actually, sorry, I focused on English studies, but my master's thesis was in English linguistics. The same thing inspired me to move to social linguistics. Now I narrowed the whole thing to social linguistics.
So in PhD, you're doing social linguistics? Technically,
in PhD, my doctoral thesis is on social linguistics.
Okay.
But the title of the degree, like I told you, I'm a co-tutor PhD student.
Okay.
So the title of the degree here in Freiburg is English linguistics.
Okay.
Why in my first university, University of Lyon, is called English Studies.
English Studies. Oh, why did you even choose English?
I love languages, how languages work and all of that. And given back home, we come from this background that speaks so many languages, multicultural background, multilingual background. So I think English somehow piqued my interest because English is, like I said, the dominant language among the languages we speak in Nigeria. So I really want to know how this language works, the interesting thing about it, and its impact in relation to the society. So that's why I chose English Studies.
Yeah, English Studies. Oh, cool. So let's go to the university. You say you study at the University of Lyon?
Yes. For my master's, it's actually Université Lumière Lyon 2. So that's where I did my master's.
Okay, that's where you did your master's. And now your PhD?
My PhD is University of Lyon and University of Freiburg.
Yeah, so it's 2 universities. And for context, University of Lyon is in France, all the way in France. Yeah. And University of Freiburg is here in Germany, which is very, very interesting. When you applied for this, did you know that you'd be dealing with 2 universities?
Yes, to an extent. Actually, when I finished my master's program and I writing my master's thesis, my supervisor encouraged me. I told me, Lucky, you have the flair for this school stuff, research and all of that. I've always wanted something, how do I put it, international, something comparative, where I did my master's, change of environment, change of language, and how do these people that speak English, France and Germany, how do the whole thing work? When my supervisor told me, you have a good prospect to do a PhD, I told her, I remember then, that I would like to do something that will make me do PhD in France and in another country. She has links here, so she recommended, why not do it?
Yeah.
Equal to tell in Germany, and voila, here I am, one of the best universities in France.
Actually, I heard the University of Frankfurt is actually one of the biggest and the best universities in Germany, and it's mostly free. Oh, sorry, what did I say?
Frankfurt.
Freiburg, guys. Freiburg. Yeah, and it's mostly free, guys. If you're looking for a free university, this is one of them. Okay, moving on. But your language of instruction is English.
Yes.
Or communication mostly is English.
Okay, in that regard, my thesis is 100% in English.
In English, okay.
But then the academic and research events in France, they're in French, mostly in French.
Oh.
But in Germany, they're partly in German.
Okay.
So I find my way around it.
So you have to use both French and...
I use English, French, and little German.
Okay. So the application process for you, can you go a little into that? Because then you did your master's there in France, am I right?
Yeah.
And then from there you moved here. So what was that journey, the application wise? So coming from Nigeria, what was that like? So you found the university yourself and all of that, and then just give us some breakdown.
Of course.
The much you remember.
Yes,
in a while.
I love that, yes. Where I did my master's actually is in France, and the application process 2 years ago, basically I applied through Campus France. So they had this collaboration with my home university.
University of Ebonyi.
This time around, Alex Ekweme Federal University in Dufalike in Ebonyi State.
In Ebonyi State, okay.
The south of the nation. So it made the whole process easier. We didn't have to, because of the partnership, so we didn't have to queue to write and all of that. But of course, they helped us to find universities, and basically me coming from English studies background, so they looked for universities that actually study English linguistics and in English. I got University of Lyon, was recommended, and I applied for the universities, and I was admitted in University of Lyon and Paris, but chose Lyon.
Okay.
Which I don't regret. After my master's program, I started my PhD, which the process is basically the same thing all over Europe. I think the first step is getting a supervisor, and this supervisor, you give him or her your research proposal. He or she goes through it, and most times they're not always perfect. If they pick interest in your work, and they'll just make some recommendations and adjustments. And after that, the person gives you a green light to go and apply. So once you apply, there's a committee that sits and looks through your application, and if everything goes well, which is usually the case, they approve or disapprove your work. And if it is approved, that's when you register for your PhD program.
Just to stray a little, when you were choosing your supervisor, what did you take in cognizance? Like, was it important for you that they were multicultural people? Like they were outsiders, like they were immigrants? Was it important for you?
Exactly.
Because of communication would be an issue.
Yes. I think basically the Department of English in Lyon, where I did my master's, all the staff there speak English.
Okay.
So actually, that's one of the criteria I had to pay my checklist while picking my supervisor. So the first thing I did was to look for someone that speaks English as a native language. So I got someone like that. And then next step was to get someone with international background, because I was looking for a cocktail. And then I got people that have these features or these characteristics. And luckily, people that are available, because that's another thing, and people that are kind. You see, it does matter to have a nice, kind people around you. Most scholars have that, but still, there are people that have more time for you, and the people who are patient with you.
Yes, it's
coming from outside. So they have to adjust to your nuances and all of that. So I was a bit lucky to have people that fit into these categories, and I applied.
What is the name of that body you said that had a partnership with your university in Nigeria and the one here? What's the name of that body?
Campus France.
Campus France.
Yes, they had. I don't know if it's ongoing, but
Campus France, guys.
Yes,
Campus France.
Yes, I think if you want to get admission for any study in France, you go through Campus France. They will guide you, and this is not our participation, but this is what they do. So,
cool.
CampusFrance.org. So cool. That's it.
So a very important thing I want to touch is the kind of visa you have now. So the visa you have, what kind of visa did you apply for? The one you applied for your master's, has it expired?
Yes.
What kind of a visa was that?
Okay, because of the campus. So I had the classical French student visa for my master's program, and after that I applied. The whole thing was I got my admission because of the nature of the status of my the scholarship I had for my admission for my doctoral studies. It was sort of converted to what they call a passport talon. So it's sort of residence permit they call passport talon. So That's what I use as
Cool.
my residence.
And
visa.
even now, that's what you're using
Yes,
right
that's
now.
what I'm using now.
And does it allow you work?
And actually, passport talon itself is a kind of a residence permit or visa that are issued to foreigners that have special skills that are needed by a reputable institution in France, where is the academic or non-academic domain. For example, I think most highly skilled footballers, they give them passport talon in France, and people on state sanctioned scholarship, I think they give them also passport talon. So,
and this is kind of unlimited.
It is actually limited depending on the duration of your program or the activity. So.
Okay, and then you can take up any job in the city if you want it. But it has
pros and cons. Passport talon has pros and cons. First of all, passport talon, I think the good thing about it is you can always bring your family here without going through the rigorous requirements for family reunion. But on the contrary, you must work in that domain where you are issued with passport talon. For example, while in France, I've taught in universities in France, and I've done some linguistic consultancy job in Germany. So
that's cool.
That's the only way I can work. I can't go and be, for example, work as a nurse. Yeah, I can't work as a nurse now.
Okay, so going back to Campus France, did you have to write an exam with them to qualify for this master's position you got?
Okay, my own case is a bit peculiar. So technically, no, I didn't write any qualifying exam.
Why?
Because basically, I was going to France then to do a master's program in English, and more or less my English proficiency is not that bad. And the English studies for that matter, so it will be bizarre to ask me to write sort of a qualifying exam. But I think that also has to do with the fact that it's a sort of there's a special relationship between my university then and the Campus France. Also, I think that in most cases one has to write exam to I think B2 or something like that for you to go.
Oh, test stuff. Oh, cool. So you've been speaking French a couple of times here.
Oui, évidemment.
There we go.
Oui,
I understood nada. Okay, oui means yes. But you're speaking French. Did you have to learn that language anytime for this masters, or you always had learned French even in Nigeria?
Back in secondary school, we did this French language, like I believe, like me and you, we did take that serious. We called them parlez-vous, and we never made effort to even learn the language. Just needed to write the exams and pass and all of that. So when I came here, first I moved to France, I had to start at zero. So I attended a French language school and did some French professional classes until I think B1 level.
Wow.
So after my B1, the other ones I've been learning them on my own, listening to the radio. I'm in a French-speaking environment, and I have to do some of my reports in French, and I have to read more grammar and get it on.
Cool. But then now you've learned language, it's helping you in your everyday.
Yes, basically.
Makes sense. Yes. Like, guys, learn the language. Forget all those jumbo dances are telling you, oh my, learn it. Oh, they're deceiving you. It's sure. By the way, if you have not liked and subscribed this video, what are you waiting for, guys? Like, subscribe, share. Guys, help me grow this channel. I beg, 10,000 subscribers is the next step, guys. We're getting there. Moving on. Funding. This is the biggest question for a lot of people. For your masters and for your PhD, because I have to put them together now because it's pretty much about the same university handling the two. What was funding like? Because you mentioned the scholarship.
Okay. Yes. A master's is just an institutional thing. It's not really that complicated. It's more or less, let's say, specialized type of funding.
That the institution itself was giving.
Yes. For the funding, the master's program, I've been working as an academic staff in a university back home. So I think that gave me the opportunity to access TED fund.
TED fund.
TED fund. that I think are assigned to tertiary academic staff to do their masters and their postgraduate studies home and abroad. But for my PhD, it's actually it's about a scholarship. I'm actually lucky. Lucky is lucky to have a what you call contract doctorate. So basically, contract doctorate is a sort of you are an academic staff on a contract in the university. So
okay. So pretty much the university is still paying you and you're studying by its side, but do you have to work?
The fact that I'm doing my PhD is already a lot of work. So
and they pay for the normal salary and everything.
Yeah, that's the normal
wow.
salary for working on your PhD.
And this is enough for your everyday life, or do you need to do like side jobs to meet up?
Technically, because of the type of visa I have, I'm limited to the type of work I do. But like I said earlier, I have taught in some universities, and again, the nature of my research is financial intensive.
Yeah.
Is that a word?
Finance intensive, I guess. That's what should be.
Whatever about.
It's not a word,
money
but it can be put together.
It requires a lot of money because of traveling to do interviews and all of that. So, but basically, suffices.
Wow, nice. Should I ask how much?
Yeah, you can ask. It's
how much?
Something euros per month.
Okay. So let's go into a little what we were talking about earlier today, integration.
Okay.
Now you have to integrate in 2 countries. Maybe Germany, because you have not been too long here. Or France. What was that integration? How has it been?
Yes, it's just I have this typical experience of a West African English-speaking person in a non-English-speaking European country. You have to learn the language, and my own experience, I've been here for almost a year, but I think comparing the experiences from France and Germany here, I think it's much more easier here in Germany in terms because of the language, actually.
Really?
For the language, because more Germans speak English. I get by with the few words I learned, few German words I learned. Whereas in France, you have to make more effort to speak some French to get by.
Wow.
So it's just like, I think basically the whole thing is like, it's fun. It's adventurous. So get it. It's fun. It's fun.
Any cultural shock something now? Have you shocked you?
Well,
especially in France. Time you just landed.
Yes. Happens to be this person that I'm adventurous, first of all. So I always expect new things from new people, from new individually or collectively. So I won't say I'm shocked. I would say that intrigued me because I would like to know, why do people do things the way they do it?
Yeah.
So because sometimes you see some logical or illogical motives behind why people do things, and always very interesting. So I wasn't shocked per se. I think I found them interesting. You do this, wow.
One of those things that gave you that wow.
So many of them anyway. I think the fact that we are exposed to Hollywood and all of that and Western movies really sort of watered down the experience. You know, so we've seen the French baguettes, the French and all of that. I think the only thing that made me wow is maybe the snow.
Okay.
It made me wow in the sense that I actually touched it, you know. I remember my first Christmas, you know, have to do the snow stuff.
You did?
Yeah.
I haven't used one of them.
So there's no this wow. My own is about why do they do this? Why they speak the way they speak? Why do they use
even in
language?
their relationships with you? Like, are they different? Or are they just every other human being on the street? And
no, I think in France, generally most Europeans are reserved. If I'm not mistaken, most Europeans are reserved. But there is no these. If people are on their own, you don't rush to talk to strangers. Even back home, you don't rush to talk to strangers. If you live in the town, but if you live in the villages,
if you live in the smaller towns, not villages, smaller towns. Like I lived in Aba, and people can just walk up to you and talk to you. Okay.
But if you live in Lagos, for example,
people are afraid of Gomo and one chance.
So people are more a bit reserved when you don't know people, and to get to know them at the individual level. So of course, the fact that I happen to to be darker skinned,
Yeah.
it might bring one or two intrigues or whatever. I don't think there's any intrigue after all because they are used to seeing black people.
Wow.
So yeah,
And
there's no cultural shock per se.
oh, and racism, which one was worse? Germany or France?
I love the way you threw the question.
Germany
and
or
racism. Germany or France. But now, I was shocked that I've not actually encountered any racism in that terms. If you mean by racism, being treated unjustly because of the skin color, I don't think I've actually witnessed that. Maybe it's not because I won't say it exists or does not exist. No, that's not the question. The question is this: my parcours. How do you say that in English? What I've been doing, like the places I see myself, my schedule.
Okay.
So you see, I happen to be a student and. To classroom, the kind of people I research with my colleagues, they're all learned.
Okay.
So because of that, and if I'm on the bus, I lived in big towns.
Okay.
So on the Lyon and the Freiburg, and then I have my own means of transportation that limits contact with people, and I go to shop and I speak German or French. I get my things and go by. And
so you haven't really.
I've not really had this. I've heard about people saying that.
Yeah, but it has not
reached more.
I think that you're not quite sensitive to stuff like that.
Yes,
because some of us, if you just do like this, we just catch you like that right there. It's racist.
Yes, I agree with you that you see, I'm more of I focus on the enjoying the life. I focus on the good things. I try not to look at the bad things. So I focus on the good part of the whole thing. I maybe intentionally I ignore stuff that will make me feel bad, or even if they make me feel that food is gone.
And how
it's more beautiful, when you don't look at such things.
Depends what your definition of beauty is. Sometimes a little bit of wahala.
Yes, of course.
Can mean some beautiful wahala.
Yes. Yeah, conflict is actually very important. Without conflict, I won't be here as a student or as a researcher and all of that. So conflict is very, very important. It's just that I think your attitude towards such conflicts
will mean much. So how does your university help you with these social issues? Do they have like a system that helps? Maybe if someone goes through some kind of racist experience, they can't report it, or is there something like that? Or just every man for himself?
Oh yes, my university is both in France and Germany. They have this a strong and effective response system organization that handles that both at the departmental level, faculty level, at the laboratory level, research lab level, at the university level. But generally, we have SWFR in Freiburg, SWFR in Freiburg, and the charge of student organization, they give hostels and all of that. And also we have CRUS in Lyon in France, and these two organizations, they provide quality accompaniment, what do you call that, for people that have social or psychological issues with regards to as students or staff. So they have a very strong one here. So
okay, just to round up quickly, for your PhD, after this PhD, what are your career prospects? There's this notion that PhD students are unemployable because they've learned a lot. A lot of companies feel like, we can't pay that so much. And then they end up either going too low because nobody wants to really employ them at the level where they should be, or they're just stuck and jobless because nobody wants to employ them. So what are your career prospects? How do you see this?
Okay, well, all these things, it depends on your field and the nature of your work. Me, as an individual, based on my program, I think for the fact that I'm exposed to two different systems, it makes me a bit more marketable, both in academic and outside academic domain. In our training, they train us how to even set up your business as a PhD student. There are so many things that they train us on. Like in Nigeria, most Nigerian universities, where as a PhD student, you do some coursework. Here, as a PhD student, they do some training on how to get in both academic and outside academic. So you are sort of trained to be employable in both academic, because most PhDs go towards academic, but you can actually work in non-academic. So it is designed in such a way that there's a room for you in non-academic world. And if you don't find such room, you can always create your own business.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, 2 more questions and we're done.
Okay.
So one is for someone who is moving to Germany now to do the same thing with you. Do you have any advice for them?
Oh yes.
Or moving to France?
Or
to do
France
the
or
same
Germany
thing?
or anywhere in the Western world. I think for you to do a PhD, I think my advice is try as much as possible to make your research proposal or to have this internationalization, comparative and interdisciplinary. So the reason is that it gives you a lot of benefit during and after your program. So that's it.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool advice right there. And if there's something you would change for this journey so far, what would it be? Like if you look back in time, like what did you do wrong that you wish someone advised you? Now talk back to yourself 2 years ago before you started this journey.
Funny enough, I don't know what I did wrong anyway, but because actually,
Okay, what would you have done better if you knew better?
I think I really like my journey. Had it been that I didn't do this code to tell thing, I would have told you, I would like to do code to tell. But so far, I think I love the whole PhD adventure. It's adventurous for me. It's like a rose with thorn that is beautiful and still painful.
But then it has a hat.
Yeah. So basically, to be frank, if I should go back in time to do a PhD again, I'll still do the same type of PhD that allows you to do it in 2 different institutions with 2 different systems and 2 different exposures and all of that. And maybe no longer in social linguistics or English linguistics. Maybe I will switch to maybe international relations or diplomacy, something like that. But the same parcours.
Oh, that's quite cool right there. You said code to tell, what's that?
So code to tell is actually a type of program. You do it both at PhD and master's level, whereby at the PhD level, you write a single PhD thesis, graduate, or you obtain 2 different PhD degrees from 2 different universities with a single PhD thesis. But the thing is that your thesis has to meet the standards of these 2 universities. It has to meet all the standards and all of that. So it's very stressful because they have different ways and different patterns, but you have to do them.
But
so
in the end,
you are going with 2 PhD programs, 2 PhD certificates.
Yeah. Wow, amazing. And can you spell this code to tell thing?
Okay. I think maybe the TOTUTELLE.
Okay.
So I think they have English words for that. Maybe joint PhD and all of that.
Yeah.
So code to tell.
Thank you for showing up for this video. Okay guys, finally we've come to the end of this video. If you haven't liked, subscribe and shared, and we are just receiving information like this for free, why? Like why? What are you waiting for? So guys, see you guys on my next video. Don't forget to share this to everyone who needs to see this video, and I will see you. Don't forget to add your questions in the comment section. I'll be there to see them, and I'll also be making videos to answer your questions, or even make a whole video explaining whatever question you have down there. Okay guys, it has been fun to be sincere. It's been lovely, lucky, like the whole of today has been amazing. Thank you guys for following. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next video.
Ciao.
Ciao.
You make me